Good evening. We're here for the midweek catch-up live. We were just having a little chat off screen. Wedge was regaling us of a tale of I think he's saying about his fiance. Congrats, Wedge. But anyway, yeah. Good evening. We're all here. I got Ryman. We're like the Brady Bunch, but we're all in different configurations from where we're set up. I got Ryman top right. I got Phil bottom left. I got Wedge bottom right. How are we all doing, lads? All good?
Good. Wedge has won the shirt of the evening award, isn't he?
Look at that. Yeah,
absolute
that's a beaut.
We were talking on the concourse about kits.
Yeah, I thought that was a third kit, Phil. Sorry.
Yeah.
I haven't really.
Yeah, Wedge, it fits you like a glove, mate.
It's you like can't get still an 8-year-old boy.
if the shirt fits, you must have quit.
We were chatting about kits on Saturday, weren't we? And I showed a picture of me when I was about 9 in the silver kit, and then we just saw someone walk past by with it. I was like, "Oh, do like that one," but
I told you to buy it off his back, but you didn't fancy it.
But you wouldn't front me the money, so I couldn't get
it. Yeah, we need more viewers before I can front that type of money to buy shirts off people's backs. And I think I showed you a picture of me in the 1996 goalkeeper shirt from last year. Yeah. Oh, that was tight, shall we say?
It was a sight. Yes, it was. Yeah.
Is that like the bobbly one that could double as a quilt? Is that?
Yeah. It was the green one with the big elbow pads. Ian Foyer. You see, Ian think Foyer. Of that pony. Yeah.
He had a size all for himself.
Oh, he did. He really did. You know, at one point there was actually a life-size. There was a to scale cardboard cutout that you could buy from the club shop of Ian Foyer.
Is this complete nonsense, or did Ian Foyer double as a stand-in for like Alien versus Predator films? I'm sure he did. I'm sure
I mentioned it
online.
We discussed that on the concourse on Saturday, and that is in fact true.
He
did.
Okay.
Yeah, he was
an urban myth.
He was a stunt double for Alien versus Predator Requiem, and his sister is actually a famous actress who was married to Mickey Rourke. There you go. That's some knowledge for the evening.
There you go.
Yeah.
Didn't know we were going in that direction.
Oh, exactly. Well, it's all on hazardsheritage.co.uk. There you go. Got the plug out the way. Yeah, remember, you can become a patron or become a member. It's £10 for the year. You get a great you get a great newsletter. There are going to be more benefits, player evenings where you're going to meet players and all that. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. It's going to be players from the 90s and the early noughties. But also a big shout out to the evening to editor Kate, who's here pretty much at death's door. She's ill and she's still here keeping the lights on for us. So, big up editor Kate. Well done. Well, there's no one in the chat as of yet, but there are people watching, and to all the people watching this back, good evening to all of you as well. But so we are a couple of days removed from the Plymouth game. Has it gone any easier? What? At first, speaking for myself, I was pretty apathetic and numb to the whole thing, and then a day later, it's sort of on the phone in Roman. It developed into anger. And now it's just acceptance that shit happens.
Yeah, I mean it does, and look, we've been here so many times that I get the apathy with it. Do you know what? I'm sick of people telling me to be patient. I'm really sick of it. I get it. I get the idea that we've had players in and everything else, but we've had 2 years of dross. We need something to get behind, and I think that's the main thing. And it was so frustrating, and for me, it epitomised all the frustrations within the last 2 seasons. And I get the booing, the other abuse, not so good, but and not okay. I get the booing though, and the booing isn't always just directed directly at those players. I think the booing is more at the state that the club is in, and that we've not seemed to have moved anywhere. And that feeling, yeah, that hasn't changed. It's going to take a lot. Beating Lincoln was a start, but it won't for me do everything to allay all of that.
We haven't beaten them yet.
Not well, exactly. No, we may well not, but
Phil's time for some measured
measured
reasoning.
opinion. Yeah, I mean,
did you not hear Phil on the phone in?
I called in on the phone in, didn't I? Called in on the phone in.
Yeah, but have you
angry.
calmed down at least?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I haven't. No,
Well, we'll
I
go
feel
on to Wedge then.
Go on, Wedge. Speak to her about what we spoke about last night. Go on. You can.
He's gonna be even more angry than you.
He's gonna be angrier than me.
You say, it's now got to acceptance. It hasn't for me. I mean, you can't accept what's going on at the moment because it's terrible. When you say it on Saturday, the boos were not. I wasn't directing them at the players. I'm directing them at Matt Bloomfield and at the board because the tactics just weren't right. By Bloomfield, I don't know. I just don't think he knows what to do, basically. And it's on the board because I don't think that they've given them the players for him to be flexible. Because we ended up, and I think I said this in our WhatsApp chat, playing Jordan Clark at right back because we have no right backs. And the last time we were playing him there was in the era of Graham Jones, and we don't like to mention that era at all. So it is on the fact that we haven't given Bloomfield the players for him to be able to go to a plan B and try and mix things up a little bit when we need to be, proactive and also reactive to things. So that's where my frustration was coming out on Saturday.
So you're talking about Jordan Clark as a right back. We got a comment here from Aaron Dagley saying, "What are the chances of a back three again?" I'd say it's somewhere between incredibly likely and set your watch by it. Yeah.
100% going to be a back three.
Yeah. And we were playing. We're talking about square pegs, round holes. He's got Naismith and Bramwell, our only two left-sided players, sitting on the bench. And he's playing long. Yeah, and he's playing long way because a left centre back. It just doesn't make sense when you've got the players to try and give you the formation that you want, and you just put them on the bench. It doesn't make sense.
Well, we'll talk about this a bit later when it comes to the press conference. But Phil, didn't you see the XG? We won. We won with XG.
About the XG. Yeah, I just that really wound me up hearing about that. That sort of re-triggered me. To be honest with you, I just
and it was in the press conference as well. Like Matt Bloomfield started banging on about that as well in the press conference.
You're gifted 2 XG. Take away those 2 XG, and what you're left with. I'm sorry, just no. I think I said it on the phone, and so I won't go too much into repeating what's going on. But I think that it's been covered up when you think about the press conference, when you think about some of the interviews after. We were gifted 2 goals from penalties which were dubious. They had a man sent off, and it's just our own fallibilities. It's our own mistake making. It's our own ability to not defend. It's our own lack of cutthroat chances. I don't think anyone could put their hand up and say, "Oh God, if only that sitter went in on Saturday when we were at 2-2 or when we were at 3-2 down." There was no sitters. There was no actual penetration into the box. We had a couple of loopy headers and a couple of shots from Millie Alley that went wildly wide. And it just
challenge, wasn't it? Yeah,
it was, and to start trying to pull the wool over the eyes of fans by saying that our XG was good and we played well. No, we didn't. Like, listen to what Cal Naismith said. And we said this off air. Cal Naismith's interview, as brief as it was, the bit that was put out. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear them angry. I want to hear them hurt. And I want to hear them say that we're going to work our nuts off to make it better. I'll be honest with you. If I'm Matt Bloomfield, the only thing that irked me about what Cal Naismith said was that we'll have a look at it on Monday. I was thinking, well, you should be in tomorrow, mate. I'm not being funny. That was absolutely pathetic. Like, you should all be back in tomorrow morning. I don't know whether that panned out. I'm not knowledgeable enough to know whether that did, but I would like to think
We're
that
gonna
they
do
were.
the Brickies pod again. 'Cause,
Yeah, we need to be
then
down the
we
Brickies,
we'd
then we'd
know.
know. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I wasn't happy about that. Like I say, I prefer Cal's approach to media train Matt Bloomfield, because it's just a snooze fest of the same shit every single week.
No, but we've got to give him this, like Carlton Morris last season. You know, a couple of times he come out and called the players out and said that we're gonna regroup and refocus and things like that. And it's all well and good coming out and saying you're going to do it, but it's almost as if the boos weren't there on Saturday, Cal Naismith wouldn't be coming out and saying it, would he? It's just a reaction to the fans, how the fans are obviously showing their frustration to people.
Well, Carlton was saying that towards the end of the season when the damage was completely done. I think it's better that it's being done now. And I think Cal is a bit more of a leader in the sense that he will actually go into the changing room and tell people exactly what he thinks. Whereas Carlton, he's probably first one in the shower, first one out of the shower, and he's gone. Play pool or go to Centre Parks or whatever.
Find Tom Lockyer. Yeah,
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
but I think it's certainly true that there are some mirror images there. I think the other thing to look at is that Cal's form's been pretty poor as well, just like Carlton's last season. You know, he said it. That was part of what
And
he
he
was
admits
talking
it.
about. Yeah, he admitted it. Yeah, absolutely. Which I like with Phil. Like it's good to see a bit of human level. Like you want to see that level of this person gets how we feel, at least as a bare minimum. And we know we're not getting Nathan Jones levels, but we can expect a little bit more than just here's the old platitudes. This ticks a box for everybody listening and Gary Sweet at the same time. In terms of just to really briefly go back to the back three, because I do think that system can work and it has worked for other people. The reason why at the moment it's not working for us is that as soon as we get past the halfway line, we seem to have no idea what to do with the ball. And we need some variation in our play as well. If we're going to play the wingers as they are, that's great. But we can't just over-rely on get it out to Ali or get it out to Kadira. And I know lots of people here have said that same thing over and over again as well. But at the moment, with the fact that we're not creating the chances, regardless of XG, that's the worry, right? Is that we're not creating the chance up top, and then we've got two wingers being stranded by whoever they're playing on the wide sides to run against us going the other way. So we're always going to be vulnerable to the counter attack, and we're not scoring goals. So what way round do we do it?
You start playing wing backs as attacking as we have. Like I'll be honest with you, I was stood on the concourse on Saturday and I saw that Kadura and Ali were wing backs, and there was a couple of things that I said. That first of all was it's good that we're attacking at home, because there's nothing worse than going to Kenilworth Road and feeling like we're playing overly defensive. So I was keen for that. But the other thing I said was this could be 4-2, it could be 5-3. I was like, we're going to be so fallible at the back, because the way I saw it was that it's a much more stereotypical 3-5-2 rather than the sort of 5-5-3-2 or 5-4-1 or something like that. Yeah,
where pretty much the 2-8s and the wingers are just all lined up.
But by having those two like hyper attacking wing backs, you're thinking, right, we should be getting gone at them. You should be absolutely charging them down and having real attacking impetus. But truth be told, neither of them had a good game. And I was gutted because Kadura, we spoke about it last week. He was man of the match in my opinion against Barnet, and yes, it was against Barnet, but I thought that he was really exciting. I thought that he looked good. And Ali, it just didn't work from him on Saturday. I think it just didn't work. Everything that he tried seemed to either get blocked or go flying off into every direction going. So it wasn't an ideal one for him. He ended up getting booked, didn't he, for diving as well. I think that was a little bit of desperation as well. And it just, like we said, it will be a 3 at the back. We know it will be a 3 at the back. That like Ollie said,
we've got no fullbacks.
But we've got no fullback. So it'll be a 3. But I mean, is there not an argument that Bramall could be playing as a left wing back? Like, is it a fitness thing? I don't know, but I don't know.
It's because you're trying to shoehorn Ali in.
You're trying to shoehorn him in, but also trying to shoehorn people in where we shouldn't have to shoehorn them in. A left-sided player should be playing at the left, like Wedge said. Like we've got 2 of them sat on the bench, and then we've got a guy playing with his wrong foot on the left side of the fence. And that's not his problem. That's not Longwhite's problem. Like he's just doing as he's told and playing, but he doesn't bring you anything. Like, and I'm not saying that a centre back should be bringing you the attacking impetus, but I think when Naismith come on, and you're right, Ryman, by the way, you're absolutely right. And as Cal said, he's not had the best start of the season, but his assuredness on the ball, as soon as the second half started, we looked totally different. Even in that short nugget of time before the red card, he looked better than what we did have. I'm just frustrated. I'm just really, really frustrated by how I've been made to feel after a home game when we just. I think the worst thing is that I can't do anything but hold my hands up and kind of go, yeah, fair enough, Plymouth. They didn't make a huge amount to go and win the game, but we certainly didn't deserve to win the game.
It was Dial and just they fought for it, didn't they? At the end
They
of the day, and I think their 2 fullbacks did well against Ali and against Kadura and Morris when he came on. And obviously, I know Morris had against Barnet had a little cameo and everything. Thought he was going to be brilliant, but again, pinch of salt. We were playing Barnet. I mean, I said to you guys, League One's completely different, and you said up in the stands, didn't you? Like it's almost as if he was told, get the ball and just run at him. And he did that too often instead of just playing a simple ball and trying to work it. And I think he was told one idea and that's all he went with rather than, doing something a bit different. But again, we spoke about it, it's how we feel after the game. When was the last time we enjoyed a full game of Luton?
At Luton.
Watford.
Yeah.
I was just looking through. I mean, we had half a game against Barnet, but come on, it was Barnet. The Sheffield United game back in February, we did pretty well in, but we ended up losing 1-0. Yeah. But it showed a bit of fight and a bit of character. But apart from that, it's
Sunderland
lost.
Bristol City. Bristol City. Come on, that was a good game. Bristol City 3-1 at the end of last season, I'd say, is a pretty good one as well. Some good goals.
We couldn't really enjoy it because we were in.
No, yes, true.
But
if you were taking the game on its merits, I think you could probably warrant. It wasn't 90 minutes, but you could probably warrant that game showed that actually we could score the goals to stay up, because that was the issue at the time, wasn't it? That we were defensively solid, but didn't look like scoring much the Middlesbrough game. But yeah, I'd absolutely take that point.
So we're talking 3.5 games last season, and maybe
we're not enjoyable to watch.
It's just it's just so frustrating, isn't it?
But that's the frustrating thing. We're playing a really attacking formation. We've got excellent attackers. And look, all right, Shaden Morris didn't have a good game, but I think he's going to be the one that will start more games than Kadura long term. He's got more. We spent the money on him. It's likely that he will. We've got Kadura, who's a great player as well. I'd like to get them both in. Ali, one of the most exciting players in the league. You've got now strikers coming out of your ears, and yet we're still playing football where the only XG we're creating is from bloody penalties. It's ridiculous, and that's exactly where the frustration is, right?
Well, the other 2 chances that I remember, there was the Makoso header from across. I think it's from a corner. Like the only corner where we actually created anything, and Zach Nelson had a chance. So that was like pretty much all the XG that we accrued. Everything else was from crosses. There was virtually nothing that was actually slotted through the lines, like a striker waiting on the shoulder of the last defender, bending his run, and away he goes. Like their striker Tolic was doing that completely. He was like running off the defenders, bending his runs. Where's that from us?
Yeah, did you see his worldy shot from the halfway line as well?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
it's amazing, isn't it?
He had a shot.
Can we not let Keeley off the hook here? Because I know you've been giving me crap because I am obviously a little bit reserved on Keeley, but what was he thinking?
I don't know. It was a massive error from him. And he can't possibly have a game like that ever again. No. He can't. It's not possible. But there was also, funnily enough, one of the only games where I haven't seen him come off his line. He was like glued to his line
about 2 minutes later. He's not good coming off his line. 2 or 3 times this season's already, he's been hesitant coming off his line. One of them was against Wigan, and Mullin should have scored, but he kicked it against his leg. He had another one where this was at home, he took one of the strikers out, coming out of his line.
Yeah, with the header.
Yeah,
Missed
and
the
then
header.
there was, again, after Plymouth scored their third goal, again, he's coming off, but he's hesitant. And every time he does that, I'm not comfortable whether he's going to get the ball
I think
or whether he's going to get a red card.
I think you got PTSD from Kaminsky there, because I think Wigan, the
Just
Wigan
saying what I
example,
see, man.
the Wigan example, he's the reason why that wasn't a goal for me. I don't think he could have come out any quicker. He is the reason why Mullins didn't score that goal. For me, that was excellent play. But I get it. I mean, he had an absolute howler in that one, as Zach Nelson did as well. Let's not forget, both of them. Both young players, he's going to make mistakes as well. But I think, look, we're in League One, so I think it's slightly different when you're comparing him with Kaminsky, who we believed when we signed him was a Premier League quality goalkeeper, and for me made as many mistakes, if not more, when it came to commanding his own box. So
how many goals do you guys think Kaminsky conceded in 2 years? I've said it before. Come on.
Oh, that's not fair.
Come on. I've said it before. How many goals?
160?
140 probably.
A lot, but yeah.
Go on, Ryman.
Yeah, around that. Go on, 120. But it isn't a fair question.
Phil's close, 152.
Yeah, that isn't a fair question. But yeah,
156.
Apples and oranges. But I'm not suggesting, by the way, that he's, there's any excuse for some of the goalkeeping on Saturday, because there isn't. But I do think he is far more of a decisive goalkeeper. For me, Kaminsky cost us far more points than he saved us last season. Far more.
I still disagree with that. But
I wasn't. Yeah, but football is a game of opinions. That's the main
exactly.
thing.
That's the beauty.
I wasn't fussed to see him go either. I much prefer having Keeley rather than Kaminsky. There are some comments here as well. I'll read them out. From Kate. Keeley does far more right than he does wrong. We all knew he was going to make mistakes this season. I think that's fair. Some interesting ones. Here's one to put to you guys. Highland Hatter. It went downhill at half-time when Matt Bloomfield pulled Nordas off. XG is rubbish. Goals count, wins count.
I'll stop him scoring.
Yeah.
I think that Highland Hat has made a couple of good comments, actually. I'm just having a quick look because one of the
you actually found the YouTube page. Well done.
I did, yeah, I know. Look at me with two screens.
Our own YouTube page, yeah.
But no, he's made a couple of really good points, because one of the things that, again, we spoke about tactics earlier on and talking about like having left-sided defenders on the left side and not doing that. The other thing is, let's get the ball out wide, put loads of crosses in, but put two short blokes on in Naki Wells and Ryan Yates, rather than having Nordas, who's a 6'5" monster. Like,
so frustrating.
What on earth are you thinking about? Like, and if you are,
and we kept whipping in crosses.
Yeah, but like there weren't low crosses to get on the wrong side of the defender. They kept on whipping it in at head height and flying over when Nordas would have had half a chance of going. And if you're going to carry on doing that and you're willing to play him for 15, 20 minutes, then why don't you play him for 45 minutes and put Boda on? Because he's an absolute unit from the looks of it.
John has the guess how many crosses we... Okay, how many crosses do you think we put in?
20.
Okay, 26.
Okay, so I've got to do some maths here. So 22% accurate cross accuracy. 22%. And 12 of them. 12. So there were 12 accurate crosses, which we did nothing with, other than Makoso's header. So what, that 12 times...
crosses?
Yeah, I was going to say, that's a lot of crosses.
What is that? There's 12 times 78. And that will be... No, that I'm terrible at maths. That's apparently 9.36 crosses.
If you times it by 5, 20% is what? A fifth, isn't it? So times it by 5.
Oh, yeah. So, absolutely shocking. Absolutely shocking. Like, and that's one of the things, this is the perfect segue to Matt Bloomfield's press conference now, which we'll talk about for the next 20 or so minutes. That's one of the things he banged on about. They're a great segue, isn't it, Phil?
Oh, God, he's so boring.
He's so boring. I called him a wet fart. He's got more substance to him than Graham Jones, who was a completely dry fart. But he's just media trained to the point where you might as well just be watching a painted wall for for 22 minutes. There's nothing of
Do we-
substance there.
Do
So
we
dull.
think that it's the? And again, I mean, I'm not a journalist. I don't do press or anything like that. But the kind of questions he gets asked, that it's almost like the answers will be a nice answer because he's not kind of really getting pressed into kind of nitty gritty answers and things like that. It's like we'll ask you some nice questions, but also we'll say something else which kind of gives you a way out of not narrowly digging people out. Because I mean, Graham Jones, as much as he said that Izzy Brown was, the Messiah and stuff like that, he also threw people under the bus, which I'm not saying you should do. But there's one thing Matt Bloomfield said in his press conference. He goes, I love coming into work and working with a really, really nice group of lads. And he also said ladies as well. He added that on the end. But
Tahib Chong's left.
But it's all well and good saying that it's nice coming in and working with these people, but you need to be that you're the manager, right? You need to be that extra guy who's
You're thinking
needs a
he's
bit
like
more
Rob
respect and
Edwards
stuff.
light. You think he's Rob Edwards light. He's not
I
there
think
as
he's
like a manager. He's there as just like, hey guys, let's have chill time.
Yeah, I feel so blessed to be given this opportunity.
There's
rather
only
than
one
I'm just
only one
taking it by
interview.
the.
Yeah.
Do you think is it fair then to say that he doesn't feel like a Luton manager? Is that part of the problem? Is that we, if we think back to all our successful managers, and actually, do you know what? I'm not going to put him in the top level of character, but Rob Edwards in his first season had some character, very different to Nathan Jones, but he wasn't a wet blanket. I mean, he's winning games, which helps. But I would argue that when he was, Rob Edwards in that first season and in the Premier League saying that we need to stop thinking of Luton as little old Luton, and that sort of attitude I thought was excellent, and the way that he talked about that, I thought was brilliant. I don't see Matt Bloomfield coming out with anything like that. We know what happened afterwards. But our best managers, my favourite earliest manager, I guess, growing up would have probably been Joe Kinnear, Mike Newell, very different reasons, but all characters. I don't endorse everything Mike Newell said, by the way, in press conferences, but they certainly weren't boring. That's for sure. Is that the problem? Is that it throughout our modern history, at least, we just need a bit more of a character.
But we're in the modern world of media training.
That's it.
Absolutely everything, and we got a manager that's got a degree in broadcast journalism. So right off the bat, he's never going to say anything that you can pin to him. He's always going to be straight down the middle, vanilla. And he doesn't say anything of substance other than like factual stuff, like Tedham played 45 minutes in a behind closed doors friendly. Liam Walsh had an innocuous fall and he's out for 8 weeks. He doesn't say anything that's matter of facts, opinion. It's kind of like what James Cunliffe does on the LTST pod. He doesn't say anything that is an actual opinion. And that comes back to Wedge's point of the journos in the room, why they don't ask any hard-hitting questions is because you saw what happened to Mike Simmons a couple of weeks ago, when the Alfie Doughty story broke. It was obvious he was leaned on to retract the story, even though it was, Bloomfield mentioned it was because of transfer speculation. In that room, you got Stu Hammonds, Barringer, the whole group of Luton media people, like breathing down your neck. And essentially, if you say the wrong thing, you're not getting invited back, or you're getting a telling off.
It's I know we are a community club, but you need a personality there which kind of breaks that mold a little bit. And I like the personalities of Ange, and the way that he addresses. He doesn't say anything too what's the word, controversial, but that he's got that personality there, and he'll just make things more fun. Mourinho, as much as they've got that kind of person. I know we're talking big managers here, but I'd much rather have someone that's like that than someone who's beige, basically.
Yeah. But you say we're a community club. Like I being completely honest, this is the furthest I've felt from involvement with the club for a long time. Like it's not like, you know, League One promotion last time when we were literally all in it together.
Yeah. So I'm saying we're supposed to
We're
be
far from it.
a community club, aren't we? But it's just drifting.
It's drifted so much that there's that.
I think it stems from the feelings in the ground as well. It's apathy. It's quiet. It's really
So much
quiet.
apathy.
It's definitely quiet. And the problem is it's really deeply set in now to those guys that go every week, like ourselves, where you turn up and you don't expect to be entertained. You hope for a win. You don't really necessarily expect one, despite what league we're in. I said it the other day. I've mellowed a bit on this because I still feel like there's time to turn it round. But I really do think that Bloomfield needs to be careful about how many days he's got, because at the moment we're sort of sitting where we're sitting in the league, and there's no real issue. But if it starts becoming really feasible that we've gone down again, and that we're not pushing for playoffs, and we're not making any threat on that sort of ability to go back up towards a championship by sort of December, January, then he needs to be really fearful, because A, the crowd will sour even more, and B, surely the board, as difficult as it was when they got rid of Edwards for them, they can't have that same thing happen again. They can't be apathetic and let it go on for too long before the chance, even like last year, for staying up. Yes, the argument is it was in our own hands on the last day, but fuck me, that was tight. You know, like, and you can't be having a situation where we're chasing our tails, and having to scrape into a playoff place. Like he's got work to do, and he's got serious work to do. And by being beige, by being vanilla, by, truth be told, being just so boring, it doesn't instill confidence. It doesn't give me any sort of G up in the week to go, right, let's get off to Lincoln, let's go and have them, sort of thing. It's just meh.
A couple of people in the chat have been basically saying the similar thing. I mean, the fact that we're all saying this, you know, how is that reflecting to the players as well? One thing that I said to Ollie in the phone, and I can't remember, Phil, whether you were still in there at the time, was that any time we go behind now in the last couple of years, in the 10 minutes, where we used to have the Alamo in the last 10 minutes if we were behind in games, you just don't get that anymore. There's not that kind of, push forward, and I, some of that surely got to come from the manager, from that inspiration. All right, I don't really care if he's boring in press conferences, as long as he's doing it in the dressing room. But the problem is you just don't get that feeling. You don't get that feeling on the pitch that the players are willing to run through brick walls in order to get that goal, in order to score the equaliser against Plymouth and various other games we can think of. And the only time against 10 men that we've done it was against Coventry, and you can't exactly say that goal was a blinder from heat, tons of pressure, right? That's the thing that worries me about it.
Yeah, you kind of go back and to like John Steele. You know that every one of his players, like you say, would run through a brick wall. Nathan Jones, they'd all do the same for him. Graham Jones, no, not at all. Look what happened.
No.
You bring back Nathan Jones, they would do it the same. And to be fair, at the beginning of Rob Edwards' tenure with us as well, they would do it. And then obviously that slowly unravelled. And you need a manager where those players are like, yeah, I'll do everything I can for you.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Matt's got that gravitas about him, to be honest.
Need a bit of inspiration on and off the pitch, right? And that's the thing. That's what's needed. It really is. Otherwise, it feels like more of the same.
Well,
in
those teams, we had leaders. Like under Still, we had Benson, Gutridge, McCormack. No, McCormack was under NJ. We had leaders, and then NJ came in. We had McCormack, Bradley, Pearson. We had leaders all over the pitch. Got no leaders now.
Hollow, yeah.
Had a captain in every position. Got none of that now.
We got Savile and we've got Cal. I think
that's two.
It's not, but that's there's two that I think are two better than we had last season for a start. I think it's as well. You need leaders that believe in the vision of the manager as well, They're there basically as a version of the manager on the pitch, and we all
But
know.
Cal's pretty much calling him out post.
Well,
saying
exactly.
You can't just keep going down the wings.
So
And he's not on the
exactly
pitch.
him saying that you wouldn't have found players like Luke Berry, for example, Sonny Bradley, whoever saying that about Nathan Jones' team. You wouldn't have done. You'd never call out the tactical issues with the game. It just wouldn't have happened. So I think that's part of the problem. It's not just the personalities; it's that they're not buying into him. I think maybe that's just a bit of a leap, but that's what it looks like.
Maybe that's why he said about coming in on Monday, because he knew he wasn't going to get a rollicking. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If he knows that he's a soft touch.
It shouldn't be up to the players. It's the players on the pitch, of course, leaders on the pitch. But outside of that, then that needs to come from the manager for me and the coaching staff.
Just look to quote Matt Bloomfield. He said, "Before that loss, we were on for two points per game, which is promotion form from 4 out of the last 5. Yeah, from 4 out of the 5 last seasons, it was enough to get promoted."
But
the thing is, we've lost to Bradford, who are second. We've lost to Plymouth, who came down with us. We lost to Cardiff, who came down with us. Like
Bradford only just got promoted. We only just beat Wimbledon, who just got promoted. I mean, that's 2 promoted teams that we've luckily beat one of and lost the other one, and then we've lost to the 2 teams that come down with us. I mean, that isn't good enough.
Do you guys want to play a little game quickly? It's called XG higher or lower. Okay.
What? How are we going to lighten the mood?
It's a stupid stat.
I
know it's a really stupid stat. We could do top trumps with this. How do we
feel about expected assists?
Okay, so expected assists. Like it's like absolute bollocks. It's such bollocks. Some of the stuff that people come out with. Okay,
expected goal saved as well. Where was it on target?
Yeah,
yes. Well, that's a goal saved. Like
expected goals against, which is
0.79. Yes.
So like every time, and as we all know, like Gary Sweet was, he ripped out his phone and started saying, "Well, look at the XG." Okay, let's look at the XG for how we've done. So Luton 1, Wimbledon 0. Our expected goals. Okay, so Wimbledon's that game was 0.03, pretty much because they were banked out on the ends of their own box, just low block against us. I'll tell you our XG for this. It was 0.53. 6 shots, 1 on target. Right.
Thank you, Corley Woodrow.
Yeah, cool.
The legacy, the legend,
the legacy assist.
Ridiculous. Okay,
that's an expected assist.
One expected
assist. Peterborough 0, Luton 2. XG higher or lower?
It'd be high because Jordan Clark scored from about 2 yards out, which has got to be worth at least 2 goals, hasn't it?
Bingo! That's what XG is about. So the simple thing about XG is they will look at a position of a shot and determine how many times out of 1,000 that shot from that position has been scored. So essentially, out of 1,000 penalties, 800 will be scored. So you get an XG of 0.8. So we had an XG of 1.44 because Jordan Clark scored from about a yard out. And that was from good work from Naki Wells, I'll say. Bradford, okay. XG, higher or lower? Lower, correct. 0.37 to Bradford's 2.09. That is recently promoted Bradford.
High as well, isn't it?
Yeah, although Bradford have had some banging results at home, haven't they?
Yeah.
They've done bits, haven't they? They beat Huddersfield 3-1. They're all right. Graham Alexander's done a great job. I'd love to see Graham Alexander manage at Luton. It is about time he came back. Just my opinion. Yeah, I'd take him. Right. Wigan, higher or lower? Luton 1, Wigan 0. Higher or lower?
Lower.
Lower than Bradford's.
We only had about 7 shots, and a couple of them were from long distance, weren't they?
There was a couple of good chances. I know they had more good chances. Their XG will be higher than ours, but I still think it'll be higher than Brentford.
So their XG was higher. Their XG was 1. Our XG was 0.92.
Yeah.
And then Luton Cardiff. Luton Cardiff. higher or lower than 0.97?
I think that'll probably be higher, but it's only because we had about 8 shots on target. But then again, they weren't exactly close range. There's a couple
There
of
was
long range ones.
there was a couple of good saves
Right.
from the keeper. That Nordas chance has to go down as the one as well, right? That he just somehow still don't know how he missed that.
It was higher. It was 1.5, and there were quite a few. Lasse Nordas's one, XG of 0.10. So it wasn't so high. But, oh no, he had another one that was XG GOT, XG goal on target. That is utter woke nonsense.
What?
Essentially, it's something that people point to. It's like if that shot from that position is on target, you have a higher XG. So there's a whole other number. Essentially, like it's something that Matt Bloomfield and Gary Sweet would lock themselves in their respective rooms and stare at a laptop while they have private time. It's absolute
It's just
nonsense.
complicating a simple game.
It gives loads of people a chance to get employment in football. Like there are set piece coaches. I don't understand set piece coaches. Like they can hire me to tell people to put 2 people over the ball and just put 2 hands up in the air. 2 hands up in the air. That means back post. 1 hand up in the air. That means near post.
Who's telling people to have 2 people take the corner? You only need 1 person to kick a ball. Get the other one out of there. It's stupid having
Like the kickoff. Did anyone notice
on?
Did anyone notice on Saturday that we played the ball back to Keeley and no one controlled it for him? McGuinness must have had some sort of bonus that if he controls the first ball, because it was always the one that'd stop it for him and he'd hoop it.
But the earliest touch of the game.
As I said, do we think that Anderson's less likely to be able to control a ball than McGuinness, which is why he's not there?
Just wait for him to put his foot on it, just rolls straight under, and then just does Keeley as well. Oh my god! Like honestly, I don't understand some of these. I'd love it for people to justify what their coaching roles actually are, and I just
done well, hasn't he? He was a set piece coach, and he's gone on.
No, Sheehan wasn't our set piece coach. It was McCormack. McCormack was our set piece coach, and he's now assistant manager at Orients.
Sheehan was our set piece coach at one point. I'm sure it was.
It was Sheehan, Cohen, under Jones.
Yeah, I'm sure after McCormack left. You're right. Both of them were, but yeah. I think there's room for stats as long as you contextualize them. As we've all talked about, Ollie, we talked about this, and Phil, you talk about it all the time. Look at what you can actually see with your eyes and use that. The stats are good. I don't mind a bit of statistics there to help understand it, but it shouldn't be the only dictation of how you've played. And as soon as you rely on that only, I think it's a problem. I mean, we obviously got on Jay Sochik, what was Blades Analytics before on Twitter, and I think initially
that's
I
for
think
recruitment.
It was a really good thing to do, a brilliant thing to do. But yeah, I think it's just how you use it, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And your camera's gone a bit weird, Ryman. There you go.
He's back.
Well, maybe I've just seen on the chat that someone said Ryman looks like he's on the gin. Thanks for that, by the way. This is only water, just to point out. I'm the only one not drinking, actually, which is concerning.
It's water, thank you. It's just in a downward cup.
Sorry, Wedge. Yeah,
you'd assume that I'm probably drinking.
I just assumed you were drinking. Yeah. All right,
cheers.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm that miserable.
Here's another stat that annoys me. You talk about contextualizing them, and this is one that Bloomfield mentioned in the press conference. 47 touches in the opposition box. It's that partridge meme.
Yeah.
What do we do with it?
Yeah, what do we do? Like nothing.
Yeah, that frustrated me when he said that as well.
Yeah, and that's why I couldn't get past 9 minutes of that press conference, because it was just utter guff. Really, and at the 8-minute mark, he just started rattling off a load of stats that I couldn't give 2 shits about. It's like, do your performance on the pitch.
We scored 2, they scored 3. 2 of ours were penalties. We weren't good enough.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
defend. He gifted them their 3 goals as well. So
just be better.
I'd love it. Like, if they want to communicate and they want to bring fans in to actually show them what they're doing, like the drills. But essentially, it goes from the defenders either way. Because we're playing Longwick, who hasn't got a left foot, it's obviously going to go to the center of the three. Or I saw this a couple of times. It went straight across to Makoso. And then what happens? It goes, surprise, surprise, to a wing back. It never goes to like a defender to receive it. And the one time it did happen, I think Zach Nelson got robbed of the ball. We don't do that. It's so easy to play against. I said it so many times last season when Rob Edwards was our manager. I don't understand this sterile, watered down type of coaching that just seems to have like rained down from like the Premier League or the FA academies.
Yeah,
where it's like, Guardiola ball, essentially, everyone's doing it, but everyone's doing it wrong. Everyone's doing their
Guardiola
own
can't do
derivative
it.
of it. Well, not anymore.
Guardiola's failed at it for the last season in a bit as well. I think maybe.
Yeah, but you know what? They go long. The amount of times I've seen them
do.
like pump it long
Against
to
us.
Haaland.
They did it Kenilworth Road. They scored about 500 goals going long. It was ridiculous. I thought I was watching it live and thought I was still watching a replay. I couldn't work out what the hell was going on.
There's nothing wrong with just going long, I love 90s football for that reason. Yeah, passion, lumping it long, have a big man control it on the chest, bring someone else in. Emil Heskey, Michael Owen, little and large, all that. But now it's sterile, pass, and nothing in the middle of the park.
For the 5 minutes he was on, I thought Gabo looked decent. I think he looked strong and he looked like he can hold that ball up. I thought that was a positive, I think, for the 5-minute cameo he brought on. And again, you said it earlier, why he didn't come on straight swap for Nordas. No idea why, but he looks like he could be a good player for us if he gets more minutes.
He's got the attribute.
There we go. There's a positive. Hey.
How quick did he look? Because I was obviously interested from afar, not following the game as much as I usually would. But
we didn't really play the ball down the channels or anything like that for him to run onto.
Or through with him on the shoulder of a defender because they were so deep at that point.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and he was playing on top of Naki Wells as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, we were playing like 5 forwards across the whole back line, weren't we? But when the ball got played into him, the defender was all over him, holding his shirt and stuff. But he still managed to, control the ball and keep possession of it. So
should have played him instead of Naki Wells. Yeah, exactly.
I think you'll find that a lot of people would rather see Naki Wells start than Yates. I genuinely, I think that they're very much two of the same. And I think that Yates, like I say, he runs a lot, but he's
I'll play Nordis and Gabo. I'll play Nordis and Gabo because I don't think Wells has done enough either yet.
I thought Wells looked good until he got injured, to be fair, particularly Peterborough. I think he played the two up front quite well. He struggled when he's only been the only one up front. There's not many that haven't. I agree with you, Phil. I think Yates has been frustrating. I still feel like he probably will do, but the issue for me with Yates is his anticipation has been really poor. Has been some good crosses in, actually, not loads, but when there has been, he's not dying to get to the near post. That sort of James Collins run that you need to put the ball in the back of the net. That sort of instinctive number 9 positional play, I feel like is just a bit lacking. Maybe that's just he needs some more time. I still hope so because I've seen what he can do at this level for Blackpool and just hope that he can do it again. But yeah, I agree. I think Wells has shown a bit more about him.
Well, the amount of crosses that were flashed across and just went straight through, you'd expect someone to put a toe on it. The last thing we'll say about this, and then we'll move on to looking at the preview ahead of Lincoln. The only stat I could actually care about seeing would be the pass map, where the passes were played. Because I guarantee it was defenders, like across that line of defenders, and out wide, and there's probably like a massive nothing in the middle of the park.
The thing is, we've bought a lot of talented
it's a smiley face
individuals. We've bought a lot of good individuals. We've got a lot of players that can beat a man. And what's another worry, and it could lead to some exciting football if it clicks. But we've got a lot of people where we're trusting them to sort of beat a man, and we're trusting things down to individual brilliance. You look at the likes of Kadua, Morris, Ali. We've got Al Hamadi to come in. You know, there's players that we know are very, very astute, good footballers. It's just a case of whether that's going to translate into goals. And sometimes, ultimately, it's a team game. And yes, you can have individual brilliance, but they're not always going to get you out of a hole. Sometimes you need to, like I say, those passes, those moves need to connect. So we'll see.
Yeah, but the likes of Kadua, Ali, even Morris, they got to play with like fullbacks behind them, so they don't
Yeah.
have to defend.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And we can all see that.
Responsibility away from them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well,
You
we
need-
can
you
all
need
see
your
that, and
forward
we're
back.
not.
Yeah, you need
4-4-2.
your forward back. You need your two holding midfielders, and then you want a bank of three, and then a number 9 up front. You got Morris or Kadoo on the right, Ali as the left, and then what you probably have Nordas and Wells maybe swapping.
But now we
9
got
and 10
5
role.
strikers now. Well, 4, and Jacob Brown whenever he sort of comes back to life.
Back on the
you know.
grass.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's back on the
Yeah.
grass. Yeah.
Is he?
Oh
that.
yeah, a couple of others back on
Yeah.
the grass. So Mengi had 45. Walters had
Dauphin
a
coming
setback.
back. That will be a bit.
Is he?
Yeah.
A Dauphin.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Dauphin's
he's on the
back on the
grass.
Back on the
grass.
grass.
Al Hamadi, he's in the gym. Good for him. Just chilling by the water cooler. Right, so welcome back. Well, not welcome back. We're going to Lincoln, aren't we? Welcome.
Can we just cut for
to...
commercial or something?
Yeah, well, hello, welcome back, everyone. Yeah, so James
We're going to be
Collins
reacquainted
and
with.
Sonny Bradley. We are going to.
There you go.
That's the way. You're a wordsmith. So we're reacquainted with Sonny Bradley and James Collins. Good. I think Sonny Bradley's got 3 and 3, and Bloomfield actually Bradley. That the bit I got from the press conference. Bradley was Bloomfield's last signing before he pissed off to Luton.
Knew him for 2 weeks, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what's going to happen.
Silence speaks, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We just know what's going to happen, don't we? At least one of them's going to score.
At this level, Colo is very serviceable as a striker.
He just
He reached a big
200 and
milestone,
200.
didn't
Yeah, 200 and 201 goals, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah,
Only the
absolutely
4th
insane.
person to do it this turn of the century, I think it was. So yeah, prolific. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good on him. I've got a lot of time for Colo. He was a warrior.
Yeah, but he was. I think the championship was a bit above his.
Pace wise, absolutely. Like I think that when we were up there, like you could see that he give you everything, absolutely everything, but everything looked like it was running at 80% max pace in comparison to the rest of the team. So, but I'll never doubt his heart, and he was like I say, absolute Trojan.
He's one of the few players that play for Luton where he's 1-on-1 with the keeper, or he's a decent chance, and you just have every single confidence in the world that he's putting it in the back of the net.
100%.
I think that's for him and Howard. For me, Steve Howard were the 2 players that I always felt confident that they were going to score more times than they'd miss.
Both
One thing I think,
well.
Yeah,
like that.
My memory of Steve Howard is there's a guy who sat behind me, about 3 rows behind me to my left in B block, and whenever the ball went up to Steve Howard, all I hear is "Santos!" and that's all he would say about him, and that's what I remember about Steve Howard. I thought he was pretty good, to be fair, but
Steve Howard didn't look like he should be a professional footballer. He just looked like just a bloke you'd see down the pub, and he had this way of running as well, where he just like he was just lolloping it, like he looked like a cartoon character.
I really hope that bit gets clipped.
we don't do clips anymore.
That's the thumbnail, isn't it?
It's not going to do the rounds on socials or anything like that. But looking at Lincoln, they play a 4-2-3-1, which is exactly what you'd want us to do. So they got Hackett and Oronquo, who had the freedom to attack and support Colo, and then they got fullbacks. Although I'd say we could exploit them a left back because Adam Reach is not a defender by any reach.
Be interesting to see, like, pace wise, because Adam Reach and Sonny Bradley on that side. It'll be interesting to see. There's, like I say, they're there for the taking in terms of pace, aren't they? But sorry, I've just seen that Swansea have just scored in the 96th minute. Alan Sheehan's going absolutely balmy. So they were
good
2-0
for him.
down. Good for
Good
them.
for
Sorry,
him
everyone. I
indeed.
was massively distracted
Yeah.
there. But yeah, I feel like there's room to get in behind them on those sides, because, like I say, Bradley's an excellent defender, but he's certainly not blessed for pace. I've been
No.
warned about Rico Hackett from a former Pompey, from a Pompey fan, as a former Pompey player, that he's going to tear us apart. So that'll be interesting. And if it doesn't happen, I'll be quite keen to talk to that particular person and tell him to shut up. So yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, I mean, Lincoln, they've only lost once this season in all comps, haven't
Yeah,
they? So
yeah.
it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd be happy with the draw.
we got a question here. What is Lincoln's XG? Now that's an interesting one. Shall we play a game called
God.
Higher or Lower? XG Edition, League One. Okay, so Luton Town's XG, total XG, is 9.70. We've scored 10 goals. Do you think Lincoln's XG is higher or lower?
Lower.
Only be higher.
It's exactly the same. Sorry,
Yeah.
Phil, I didn't wait for you. Yeah,
I was just
believe it.
about to say that.
Yeah, I think it's exactly the same. It's exactly the same, except they've scored 11 goals to our 10. So they are massively overperforming their XG, as it were. Yeah, it just goes to show XG means absolutely bugger all. It really does. Where are Wigan in the league? They're 8th. They've scored 14 goals. Bolton, where are Bolton in the league? Oh, look at that. They're 12th, and they got the 4th highest XG. It really
We have
does
to keep
mean
going on about XG.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stevenage with
not doing it.
18th highest, and they are, of course, 4th in the league. Like, I'm dreading that Stevenage game because they are so well drawn. Alex Ravel's done a job with them, really has.
Yeah.
And here's a comment. Bradley is going to be heading our crosses out all day long.
Yep.
Yeah.
That tracks,
especially-
doesn't it?
Especially if we're crossing into Wells
Or even Yates.
and Yates.
Even Yates.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
they
Bradley
show
will
the
get
same.
everything. Like,
Of
it's
course.
fairly obvious. Like, the way forward when you're playing against Bradley is you roast him for
Speed.
pace on the floor.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, I would be one for maybe starting Shaden Morris in this game. Personally, I like Kadir as well. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a great player, but I think, as Phil's already said, in terms of pace on that side as well, I'd play Shaden Morris in this game. Start him.
Yeah,
but they'll just figure it out because that's the only thing they're going to do and over again.
Yeah, but then we've got to have a bit more intelligence. If they're going to double up on Shaden Morris, then we make sure that we use the area that they leave free as well. It's not as if the rest of our players aren't exactly blessed with pace. I mean, Ali can do it on the other side easily, can't he? So, yeah.
we've got players that can pick out a pass. Like you've got I'm not being funny. If it gets laid back to Savile, I have every faith that he can spread it the other side. They can't double up on Ali as well as double up on Morris at the same time. The numbers
it would leave a space in the middle of the park for us to slide a ball through, which it just seems too clever, right? You know, if someone's doubling up on Morris, yeah, exactly. Like if they're doubling up on Morris, then it leaves a space in the middle to slide a ball through.
Yeah.
The
thing is, when if you've got your winger doubled up all the time, that's where you need a fullback to make an overlapping run or something to obviously create a bit of space. But we don't have that fullback because Mikoso or whoever's going to be playing on the left of the three defenders can't commit forward enough because we don't have the defenders to cover them. So it's all well and good playing with wingers, but if they're going to get doubled up all the time, and we haven't got the distraction as a fullback to help them out.
Well, with that as well, you end up with underlapping wide centre backs because if you have an overlapping wide centre back, then it just leaves that massive hole which gets exploited time and time again. The joys of the three at the back formation, but hey, we'll keep persisting with it. It just feels like a mandate.
It's not changing. It's not going to change, is it?
It feels like a mandate from Gary Sweet. Well, we got promoted with it. Make it work. Make it so. for Star Trek fans.
We'll see when Izzy Jones is back if it changes, but I can't see anything changing until that point.
Oh,
I don't think
I
it
forgot
changes
about
either.
him.
They just put
No,
him in
but
the same position.
well,
Carbon copies, aren't they? Yeah, I mean,
I don't think you could feasibly leave one of those two out. I think you've got to include. You can't have Kajua, Izzy Jones, and Shaden Morris vying for one place. That's insane. But hey, I've said that before, so
Maybe you
who
play
knows?
Izzy Jones as a right back and have him as a very far advanced right back, and
Yeah,
Naismith
that's what I
as
mean,
a
that's what we
very
do.
ultra conservative left back that doesn't venture
Or
forward.
Bramall. Got Cohen
but then you're
Bramall.
unbalanced, aren't you? So
Yeah, but Cohen
Got
Bramall
Cohen
just
Bramall.
keep wanting to go. Yeah, but the whole
But he's
point is
left
you want
back.
one side to attack, and
I want
Naismith-
both
no, you
sides
don't.
to
You want both
attack.
sides to attack.
Yeah, I'm happy with both sides to attack.
I want the middle
especially-
and one side to attack.
Well, I'd like all of the team, everyone, go. Keely and
Gung
Keely.
ho!
That's what it was like in the last 10
Charge!
minutes.
Yeah. if you've got fullbacks, then you can afford to have two attacking players on either side, can't you? Because like as Wedge was saying, you've then got the cover to come back and the overlapping runs going forward. But anyway,
You've got,
it's not going to
you've
happen.
got two
Don't
holding
talk about it.
defenders as well, and whichever
Yeah.
side the ball's going down, one of your holding defenders goes over and helps, and then you've got three players on that side plus your attackers as well. I mean, it's just that's how you play your triangles and stuff, isn't it?
One of the things
Or
we've not mentioned.
am I just talking absolute bollocks?
No, you're absolutely right. One of the things we've not mentioned as well is having three at the back has actually cost us defensively in terms of no one knowing where they're bloody meant to be either. If you have two central defenders, it makes life a lot easier in terms of positional play as well. I mean, how many times have we conceded a goal over the last however long we've been playing this system from players not knowing who they're supposed to be marking?
Well,
It
in all
causes more harm than
fairness,
good.
it's better now that McGuinness is not there, because McGuinness was always the one that
Well,
was too deep,
It-
playing
it
everyone
wasn't.
on
Their
side.
first goal was exactly that, though. Plymouth's first goal was exactly that problem. Players not knowing where they're
No,
marking
that
and
was
now being
because there
free
was
in the
no
middle.
fullback. There was no fullback like next to.
But that's
well,
Wakoso's job to get across,
Terry
isn't it?
Miller,
Then
wasn't it?
surely.
If you had a
It
fullback,
was-
it would be covered. Otherwise, at the
That's the
moment, we're
point.
expecting
It was
to do it as a
like-
right wing back to cover the back post.
Yeah.
It was
Players
like
are right
the.
centre
Do you remember the
back.
Villa goal? Do you remember Villa
Yeah, the
or
Villa is
Liverpool?
carbon copy
Yeah.
of the Villa goal, and
Yeah,
probably the
yeah, it was
Oxford
like,
goal, but less embarrassing. But
Kabore.
yeah, Same
Yeah,
thing.
Kabore and Kajua were doing the same thing, turning their back on it, not competing, waiting for the ball to drop. That is the problem with it. Yeah,
But because you've got loads of the defenders being pulled to the front post because they don't know where everyone's meant to be. You get that ball, and then they're one-on-one with probably our weakest defender. In that case, Kabore. In this case, Kajua. But yeah, exactly.
has Kabore's gone to Wrexham, hasn't he?
He has.
He'd do all right in the Championship, I suppose.
Really, did
I'd
Osho
have
go
had
to
him
Cardiff?
I'd have had him last year.
Recently?
I'd have had him last year in a heartbeat. But anyway,
Yeah, Osho went to Cardiff. Yeah, like all these former players. It's funny seeing Osho in the League One all of a sudden. I guess
Considering he thought he wasn't good enough for the Championship last year.
He was massively underrated. I really liked Osho.
me
Good
too.
footballer. Good footballer. Good with
Iconic
his
for
feet.
Watford. Iconic against
Yeah.
Watford as well, isn't
Mm.
it?
I don't know. I wasn't really struck on him. He was a good defender. He improved a
pace.
lot.
Bit of a victim with the
He
system,
got
though.
roasted so often in the Premier League, though, for pace.
Yeah,
That's
but
the
because
Premier League, isn't it?
Roberts played him on
Then
the
we got
halfway line
relegated.
to try and do. He played him on the halfway line as a central defender to try and beat Gordon
True.
1-on-1. I mean,
Yeah,
he's going to get roasted, but anyway, yeah.
Yeah, I just
And
felt
also,
we
he went
never.
down
He
to make
never
an effort. Make an effort.
Yeah,
He was very
true.
good in the Championship. Very good
He
indeed
wa-
in the Championship.
And he could score goals, as we've said. that we can
Yeah,
do
yeah,
with.
he scored some good goals in the Premier League as well, didn't he? I just felt he never really released the shackles. He could have run a lot faster. Did you see Harry Maguire trying to chase down Erling Haaland in the Man City? Man United?
No.
Like where he's just like furiously. He was pumping his arms to try and run faster. Like Osho never did that. You know, he never really tried to unleash the shackles, the ugly run. He was always like, I'm running so perfectly right now. Look at my stride. I'm perfectly balanced. And that was part of the reason why he could never catch up with these players. Because I'm sure if he let the shackles off, he would have been rapid.
If
And he
there's one
overplayed
thing
some.
I've learned in the last hour is that Ollie really studies our ex-players' running.
Running.
We've had Steve Howard and you know exactly how these people run. Carlos Edwards. Go on.
I'm
Glided, mate. He glided.
He'd glide. He had a he had an immaculate posture when he ran. He's still playing football at 49.
He is.
I think he's playing like tier 9 or something like that. He's in impeccable
What a
shape.
player.
What a player he was.
Love
Yeah. Look, I'm not a big observer of like footballing posture, but you know, in terms of body language, you can see if a player gives a shit. Chong. Yeah, my impression of Tahith Chong, where he essentially just like doing the Tahith Chong, where you know, because of the hair as well, so he just moves really quickly, so the hair's going so it looks like he's moving in super speed, but he's actually just doing nothing. And they just
what was it you said his
over.
hair looked like the other day when we were messaging about the Sheffield United game?
It looks like a
bruised
mouldy strawberry.
A mouldy strawberry.
It looks like a mouldy strawberry. Like, what is that color? Like with the fluff and the color, it looks like a mouldy strawberry. And his debut for Sheffield United was absolutely terrible. I enjoyed that thoroughly. How badly he got roasted by Leif Davis. I loved it.
We doing
You can tell a lot by
predictions
body
before we
language.
go?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we might as well. Yeah, go on.
I'm gonna say-
Who's going first?
I'll go first. We're going to lose 1-0.
I with the positivity.
Ye of little faith. Disgraceful.
Saw absolutely nothing on Saturday that made me
Yeah,
have
no,
any faith
absolutely
that we're
fair
going to go
enough.
away from home and beat them. They're tight at the back. They're in good form. What's to say that
I-
they don't beat us?
I think it'll be a 0-0.
Love the positivity.
The positivity from Block B here.
Yeah.
I'll go
right.
2-1. I think we'll win
2-1.
2-1. I feel like we're better away from home than we are at home. So 2-1. Yeah. But considering I know a much better team, but considering Burton and Peterborough, we've been much better in terms of scoring. So I'm going to go 2-1.
Yeah, get your comments in, get your predictions in, everyone. Kate says 1-1. I'm gonna say I'm an idiot. I'm gonna say 2-2. Don't know where the goals are gonna come from.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice spot. Twice.
Yeah, I was going to say another couple of pens. You got it.
Our XG was 3. Look at that, and we scored 2 goals. Happy days. Owen, the Luton Town, says 2-1. Bounce back, hopefully.
I think
Don't know. I love this comment here from Chris Lyons. I'll be making my second visit to Sincil Bank on Saturday. My first was November 1967. A 3-2 win. Don't think we've lost there since the infamous 8-1 loss the year before. That's buggered it. Yeah, well, it won't be 8-1. Imagine if Colo scores 8 against us. Yikes. Panic buy. We'll be panic buying him in January without
then
doubt.
we can be furious.
Yeah, here it is. Here's some positivity. 3-1. Yeah. 3-1 Luton from Highland Hatter.
Nice.
Ben LTFC says 3-0 Luton. Mark Cheatham says 2-1 Luton. Yeah. That wins. A lot of wins. I wish we shared in this positivity, but
I'd love it.
Yikes.
I'll be the first person to say I put my hands up. But the problem is, it means that I'm going to predict a loss every week if we go and pelt them by 4. So
one thing I can tell you for sure is we're going to beat them on XG. We're going to have more touches in the opposition box, and 9 times out of 10 we'll win that game. It's not the Old Firm. We're not going to play them 10 times.
Well,
yikes.
I'm going to go and listen to Matt Bloomfield press conference and fall asleep, I think.
Yeah, well, it's better than a benzo.
ASMR music to go to sleep.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I used to put my when my daughter was very young, I used to play Graham Jones's press conferences to get her to sleep. No joke.
Nightmares.
Very. I know, it was very soothing because he
night
just
terrors.
He had that monotone voice that was just perfect. The Geordie monotone. And she slept 7 till 7. It was perfect because it just put her into that register, that deep register of sleep. Yeah, it's a good idea. Better than white noise. But yeah, we've overrun, and yeah, we've all got work tomorrow. So yeah, everyone, take care. Have a good one. Thank you all for participating in the chat. It's been top. Everyone listening back, thank you very much for listening, tuning in. It's bye from all of us, and most importantly, come on,
Come on, you
you
actors.
actors.
Come on.